Well, the team consists of Role parliamentary agents. That's important because Role parliamentary agents are lawyers who are authorised by Parliament to promote private and hybrid bills. It's important because there are not very many of us, and so it's quite a specialism. And the team also has parliamentary clerks, so-called. Parliamentary managers may be an easier way of putting it. Those are people who are also authorised by Parliament to act with parliamentary agents. And we have specialist lawyers. And we specialise in legislative drafting and in parliamentary procedure and in statutory interpretation and in the requirements that you need to promote infrastructure projects. What we have to do is to understand exactly what the project consists of in terms of the physical works and what impacts it will have on the surrounding area so that we can identify and define in the legislative instrument, which might be a hybrid bill, or it might be a DCO, or it might be a TWA order, so we can identify in that instrument the exact powers that are required to make that project work. The parliamentary clerks really specialise in the plans, and we work together to make sure that everything dovetails together. Because there's no point in getting a consent, getting an order, if it doesn't give you what you need to deliver the project. Well, that's the actual order, and that's the first task in a way, but there then follows the making of the application. And in the case of a hybrid bill or a DCO, or indeed any other statutory way of getting consent, there's a detailed matrix of requirements that you have to comply with. Our job is to advise on the requirements, what has to be done, make sure that the wider project team understands that and does what's necessary in terms of pre-application consultation and the like, and then we have to prove compliance. Because the most embarrassing thing in the world is if you make an application and it gets flicked back because you haven't complied with whatever it is you should have done. We have ongoing functions to do with the promotion. We are there during negotiations with objectors, and very often the negotiations with the objectors will identify modifications that are needed to the order that you've applied for in order to settle the objections. And so we would be dealing with those as well. And then later on, when you come before the examination, in the case of a DCO application, we are there, we're on hand to talk to the examiners, stand up, be part of the advocacy team, so that we can answer questions about the powers, about the provisions of the order and why it's been done that way, and justify them. We in Eversheds think that that's the best way of dealing with that. It's best not to give that task, delegate that task to a barrister. It's much better that the draftsman or draftspeople who've been working on the project and know it very well and know the order very well and have lived through it for years are there when on the day to talk to the examiners.